probably SBF and FTX is the biggest thing you've ever covered, but previously you've called the Save the Kids scam the world's influencer scam, the biggest in the world influencer scam you've ever seen. Can you describe it?
Sure. So Save the Kids was a charity coin that was launched by a number of extremely popular influencers. I think they had over 50 million followers together, huge names. And they basically said, hey guys, invest in this coin. We're going to save the kids. A portion of the proceeds go to charity. And this coin, it's unruggable. So rugging is the term for, remember earlier we talked about SafeMoon, you just grab the pool of funds in the middle and you take them out. Okay. It's unruggable because we have this smart code that is going to prevent people who are, quote, whales, which is a crypto term for saying you have a large portion of the tokens. It'll prevent those people from selling a large amount of that at one time, right? And so basically, you don't have to worry about trusting us. It just is what it is. Join and we will, change the world, save the kids, whatever. It was really skeezy from the beginning and sketchy because their logo matched the Save the Children logo, which is like an actual charity that, so they basically copied it and said, we're saving the kids, like a knockoff brand. And almost immediately the project rugged. They stole the money. And tracing back through, the code was changed at the last second before launch. Like if you looked at their code that they launched as a test versus the code they launched in actuality, they changed only like 2 lines, and it was the whale code to basically make the whale code non-existent. Like you can sell as much as you want, as fast as you want. And it turned out that some of the influencers had not only sold that and made money, but also had a pattern of pump and dumping tokens. So we can talk about what that is. Like,
yeah, what's pump and dump?
A pump and dump is just where, you have a huge following, you promote your little Lex coin to everybody while holding a big portion of it. And as everyone rushes in to buy it, the price is going to pump and you dump at the same time. So that's where the name comes from, pump and dump. You pump the price, sell all your tokens, make a lot of money. So I traced basically their wallets on the blockchain and found that 2 of the actors specifically had a long history of doing this, which really proved malicious intent. And why I called it the worst is it certainly wasn't the worst in terms of like the amount of people affected. It relatively was like a small pump and dump because it rugged almost immediately. But in terms of the amount of people that were involved in it, in terms of the amount of malicious behavior before it that like sort of proved that this wasn't an accident, the fact that there was like this whale code, it was one of the most cynical attempts to just take the money of the followers you had and just like, that's mine now. So that's why I called it that, but that's Save the Kids.
So that was
a lot of the FaZe members, and it was, I think, Addison Rae. There were a lot of people who seemed like they were kind of taking shrapnel on it. There was like this guy, Tico, who he didn't even sell the tokens. He just like held on to it the entire time and lost like a few $1,000s or maybe even, I forget the exact amount. He lost a lot of money, a decent amount. And so like he took a lot of shrapnel with that, but there were also people who were maliciously doing this. So in that investigation, like several of the members of FaZe got kicked out. One of them got like permanently banned. And then this other guy that I talked about fled the country. Like he sold all his belongings and like fled the country and, hid out in London or wherever he is now. I don't really know where he is. Somewhere in the UK area.
So the basic idea there is to try to convert your influence into money.
Correct.
Okay.
That's the basic idea behind a lot of influencer crypto promotions.
Well, but right, but that little word influencer means something because there are most crypto scams influencer scams. They're not, right? Most kind of
right. The most high profile ones, like just by nature, they tend to be made high profile by the influencer. So sometimes they are, but you're right. A lot of money has been lost and like nobody finds out because there's no one big sort of attached to it. They just steal a lot of money. But influencers are great salespeople because like in order to overcome the resistance of getting you to buy some random coin, there has to be a reason. And so much of the 21st century content creator generation is defined by these strange parasocial relationships where people feel like they know you. Not the character you play, but you, and you have some friendship with them. When in actuality, you don't know the viewers. You know, you have a sense, but you don't actually know all of these people. And so that relationship is extremely powerful in terms of persuasion.
Yeah.
So you can say, I believe in this. And I've watched you for years. And all of a sudden I say, if Lex believes in it, I believe in it. I trust him as a human. And so that differentiates these coins. And all of a sudden the coin blows up, gets really popular.
Yeah.
You made this side deal and you make a ton of money.
I have to say, podcasting in particular is an intimacy. Like, I'm a huge fan of podcasts, and I feel like I'm friends with the people I listen to.
Right.
And boy, is that a responsibility.
Yes.
And that's why it really hurts me to announce that I am launching LexCoin. No.
No!
No, man. I hate money. I hate this kind of the scheminess of all of this. The use of any kind of degree of fame that you have for that kind of stuff. There's something
what makes
just
it so like frustrating is these people
disgusting about
I
it.
have a general sense of what they were like, sort of what I'm in the, even though I wouldn't describe myself as an influencer, I make content on YouTube. I know that especially since they were taking these huge corporate sponsorships, they were making tons of money. They didn't have need for these scams. I mean, I think it's one thing to scam if you're like broke on the street, you know, and you're playing 3-card Monte to like live. And I think it's a whole other ethically cruel thing to do if you're basically trying to upgrade your penthouse to the building next door and like you're already well off and you just kind of want to get even further ahead. I think that's where